with my co-host, Jeff Myers.
Hello.
And we've got a little special show today. Normally, the focus on the Mark Hope Show is wealth building and small business management and coaching that we're doing. However,
much better. Thank you.
Is that better?
I was looking at all my imperfections.
You know, that's the reason I switched it back for me too, because God dang.
Yeah.
But the show today is going to be marketing your investment real estate. And reason we're doing that is Jeff just bought a house.
Woohoo!
Income real estate. Tell everybody about the house you bought.
Got a little place in Oklahoma. This one is in. We were looking at so many of them. I can't remember now, Mark. Is it Drum Right? Okay. Yeah, Oilton was coming to mind, but I think that was another one we were looking at. But yeah, little two over one in Drum Right, Oklahoma. Little white house. We got to get a name for it, but
two over one. What does that mean?
2 bed, 1 bath.
2-car garage.
Is it a 2-car garage?
That is a very interesting property.
Yeah, I haven't seen the garage. Oh, I guess I have seen the garage. Yeah, is it in the back?
It is, and it's a crazy lot too.
Yeah, it's kind of funky.
Just meaning that it's big. I want to look at I'll bring it up on our screen here.
Yeah, cute little place for sure. Kind of reminds me of my old house over in Denver near Eisenhower Park. Just kind of small place, nothing too crazy.
Well, here's the house that Jeff's talking about, and it's 128 East Pine Street. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm going to put up a map. And this is an interesting situation because we're at title now. And I think that this whole thing should belong to us. But when I was doing a site visit, this fence is not here anymore.
Okay. So what does that mean?
I don't know. Maybe this belongs to somebody else.
Interesting.
And this is our property right here.
Yeah, just within the lines there.
So we may want to try and determine if this property is available, we may want to buy that.
Sure.
But we have to wait.
What would we do with it?
Well, I don't rightly know for sure.
Yeah. Build a garage.
Some of these properties, that house is gone. See the magic of Google?
Yeah.
The steps up to that house are gone.
Huh.
And if we go far enough down the street, this Google View picture, did you just see that?
It magically appears.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
So
that's
that,
wild.
in fact, is not there anymore.
Huh. You think that property or that house was like part of ours, or do you think that 'cause that's pretty tight together to be
No,
somebody else's property?
I think it was a different deal.
Huh.
But the crazy thing at this point is this fence is down and the lawn has been let go.
Yeah.
But there's your garage right there.
Nice.
Oversized 2-car,
Yeah.
little shop or whatever. And so this house, I'm pre-marketing this house for $795.
You're going to get into what that means and why. I mean, for the people who don't know about what the process is,
Well,
um,
and the
I
purpose of this live is to train Jeff on how to manage these houses that we buy and how to market them and what we're doing. So when we secure a contract on a house, that gives us, depending on what the process is and how hard it is to get the title work together, that gives us about a month of a head start to market the property for tenants.
okay.
So we're actually advertising a property that we don't own yet.
Oh wow. Okay. And you can do that at the point when you are under contract. So, with me just buying houses for my family, um, you know, we make an offer on a house and they say they accept our price, then we can start marketing it. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you can market whatever you want if you're not a real estate agent. We're just investors, so we could actually pick out a property and start marketing it to see if we want to buy it. Did I lose you, Jeff? I think we lost Jeff. Jeff, if you can hear me. Now he's gone. So
I'm back.
what happened to you?
It just all completely froze.
Okay.
Sorry about
But you're
that.
back now.
I am.
So two kind of advertising that I want to talk about today is I want to talk about Facebook advertising, and I want to talk about Zillow advertising. So when I get a hold of one of these properties, I take the pictures off of the previous MLS ad on Zillow or whatever, and I build a profile on Facebook. And if we look at this, it gives a description of the property. This is a Zillow ad. And then we also put in how many people will allow to live in the place, no smoking. This is a boilerplate thing that I have made. Applicants we're looking for a 650 credit score, blah, blah, blah. And so we start putting that out there after we've secured the second inspection and all that kind of thing on Zillow. But let me show the listeners what it looks like. If you look at this marketplace, you can see all that.
Yeah, we can.
If you see this thing with the red drapes in it right here,
yeah,
those are all of the people that are reaching out to me about this property.
Wow, that's great. And so these people aren't necessarily, they don't meet our qualifications necessarily yet, but you've made those pretty
they might
clear.
not even be, they might not even be buyers. What a lot of times what I see is, hi, is this available? So what I do in response for that is I put up this little bit of text that says, hey, what's your income and your credit score? Provide me that, and then give me a call, and I give them a phone number. What pets do you have? That kind of thing. And a lot of people are just kicking tires. They want to know what's going on. But what a lot of other people don't realize is if we've got 100 people that are looking at this house, we only need one.
That's very true. Yep.
And really what we're looking for is, look at this, keeps going on and on and on. Look at that.
That's great. Wow.
Unbelievable. I might have started marketing this one a little too soon, but what I do when I do one of these ads is I market it to established Facebook groups. Jeff, remember in the computer company when we used to do an advertisement for laptop, we would do a group for, Denver classifieds or whatever we do. Well, I'm establishing myself in these groups. And you'll notice that some of them have to do with Noble, surrounding area, Stillwater, Cushing, buy-sell trade, Cushing, buy-sell trade. And there's 12,000 members on this group. And so when I make an ad for a house, I put it in these groups. And one of the plays that we're making on in Oklahoma, and this gives away a little bit of our secret sauce, but there's a huge thing going on in Cushing, Oklahoma. That's a big oil area. They're hiring about 5,000 employees of the Cushing area. Well, the house that we bought together, you and I and Steve, is in a small town called Drumright, Oklahoma. And that's about 15 minutes away from Cushing.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Exactly. So
that's not that far away. Denver to Arvada.
About 20 minutes.
Denver to Arvada style, or
it's about like 20 minutes. Yeah. So what happens is that where it's more expensive in that other town, they can get a bigger house for less money.
Yep.
And when you look at this, it says what ad they came from. And a lot of them is from those Cushing groups.
Nice.
It's not showing it here, but.
So if you were encouraging somebody who's doing this, you'd encourage them to jump in some of those groups and, be
Absolutely.
active in those to get, those people who are kind of hanging out there just to kind of be within a group. And now you're kind of inserting, hey, here's a thing. And, those, they like that.
Yeah, and I'm not so active in the groups, really.
Yeah.
I just make sure that I'm advertising a house that's in their area. And one of the things that happens is if I advertise, some of the things that I'm doing, I might advertise one of these houses in Denver.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is you need to be very careful that you're being very deliberate about the place that you're advertising for.
Right.
So you say, are you tired of the high prices of rent in Denver? Consider small town Oklahoma, then do your ad. And you've got somebody that's in a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house in Denver. What's that rent for, Jeff?
Oh
22 to
boy.
25?
Yeah, that might be a little high, but yeah, I mean, at least $1,600-$1,700, I would think, in Denver. I mean, in Parker, I know you're dead on. Parker is. I mean, I left that. I think it's $2,400. Yeah.
What's a Denver zip code?
Let's do 80237. It's near my mom's place.
Well, let's do Action.
80222.
Where we used to work together.
80222.
222. And I'm going to share this screen just so we're all together. Okay, so we're going to say 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, exact match. Home type is going to be a house, entire place, for rent. You're telling me there's not one house in that zip code? Isn't that crazy? But here's Denver. Here's Denver. Look at this screen. 1800, 2002.
Yeah.
There aren't many 1600s there, bud.
No, you're right.
There's a little house, $2,100 a month.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love that. I was considering apartments, but yeah, if we're comparing a house to house,
well, that's what we're selling.
Yeah,
is our 2-bedroom house with a 2-car garage.
Right.
$695 or $795, depending.
Right.
I mean, that's a huge deal.
Yes, it is.
So $2,100. So what a lot of times what I'm doing is I'm presenting this house to people in Denver. That would be $2,100 in Denver.
Right. Wow.
So if somebody's got student loans or they've got, credit card loans or different things that keeping them down, they could actually move from Denver and still work remotely for Cisco or whoever they're working for, and they could reduce their housing burden by like $1,500.
Just jump right in. Yeah. That's
and then
crazy.
pay off their car, pay off their loans, all the other stuff.
Yep. Yeah, that's huge.
This Mark.
Hey Mark, sorry about the delay. I work nights, so I'm sleeping. Is is it possible to get the place with a low credit score because Mom and I both have medical bills?
Yeah, text me your name and number to this number. I'm actually on a call right now. No problem. No, it was me. I don't want to answer the phone, but send me your name and I will call you back after I get done. Thanks. That was a call on your house.
That's incredible. There it is.
It happens all the time. And one of the things that I'm telling you, you have to be proactive. You have to answer the phone. You have to answer the messages.
Yep.
And it might be 90% of the messages don't qualify or, aren't good. That guy said he had a low credit score. And could we talk about it? I talk to everybody. I treat everybody that I talk to with respect until they don't treat me with respect. Then the conversation's over with. You know how I was at the computer store when you worked for me. Anybody can yell at me, but nobody can yell at my staff.
Don't yell at my people. Yep.
Right?
I know the
don't,
game.
Don't yell at me too much.
Yeah.
Because I'm only going to play a certain amount of that game. But,
the louder they get,
well,
you get quieter.
The lower we get. So I talk to them all. I get to know people. And there's 4 different things in the rental business, in the residential rental business that we look into. And one of them is credit score. I need you to be 650 or greater on credit score.
Why is that?
Huh?
Why is that? What is that? What's the link there?
What do you mean?
Why are you qualifying somebody on credit?
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding you. Our listeners may want to know.
No, this is for you. If anybody doesn't know why they should have a higher credit score, they need to take a different show. So credit score of 650. You can ask me why I set it at 650.
Sure.
Do you know the answer to that?
I don't.
Anybody with a credit score that is too much over 700 gives me a red flag because they should be owning their own home.
Okay, that makes
so
sense.
If they've got income enough that needs to be 3 times the rent or better, and they have a 800 credit score, I'm very, very skeptical as to why they don't have their own home.
Okay.
Now, right now, it's a little bit of a question mark because the interest rates are so high that some of the people just can't afford it. But before, when interest rates were reasonable, you got to wonder why people don't buy their own home if they can. So 650 credit score, 3 times the rent and money, no evictions. And number 4 is background check on their criminal record. And what I tell people is we can work with you on one of the 4 items, not 2.
Okay.
So if you've got a little bit of a damaged credit score, but you're working on it, but you've got the income, and I like your attitude and you're respectful and you look like you're going to be somebody that's going to be good, I work with people.
Okay. Yeah.
Because some of the situations that, if you help somebody that has emerging credit and they have the money, then they are going to probably be a longer term tenant.
Gotcha.
And one of the things that we want to avoid is flipping tenants all the time.
Right.
Look at this chat. I guess you can't see it.
No, it just says new comments will display here.
Yeah, it says, God damn, Mark, you look like you sleep in a coffin.
You got that in there somewhere.
I don't know who this guy is. Dude seems like Dracula's sidekick.
I like how
Well,
I like
what this
I like-
guy's talking about, and I don't know who he is, but I have a little bit of anemia
Oh, is that
because
what it is?
I'm in kidney failure.
I
So
thought he was talking about your dark background or something. Dark
yeah,
area
maybe
behind
that's
you.
it. Maybe that's it. But make fun of the, sick guy.
Yeah.
That's funny. We really need to have a thick skin when we're in this business, right, Jeff?
You do. You do.
All I have to say is bless his heart every time.
Yep.
Right? That's what we tell him.
Yep.
So back to the job at hand. We have 4 things that we're really trying to make sure that we discuss with the people, and the pre-marketing is I try to talk to them. I try to find out what the deal is. Really, Jeff, most of the people that I'm dealing with, as soon as I put out the baseline thing that we do, I don't hear back from them. Somebody's got a 400 credit score and they got some felonies on their record.
Yeah.
I don't hear from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the weeding out process kind of handles itself, but you get some of them are like, hey, do you take the Section 8 vouchers? Do you, do something with the low credit score, whatever it is? And like I said, I respect everybody and I treat them as such, because you never know.
Right.
Will I take a voucher? Yeah. If they're good people, they're on a voucher, I'll work with them on that. There's a couple of guys that do this kind of thing, and they work exclusively with the housing authority.
Yep.
And because they like that the state's paying the rent.
Yeah. Met somebody yesterday like that. When
Really?
I was talking to him about it.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, I was talking to him about our little White House, and they have I don't know what the technical word is, but they have an 8-unit thing. What would you call that? Not a duplex or what? I mean, there's a word for it.
The double quad, the hexagon plex.
Sure. They have one of those in New York, and it is a Section 8 type of housing. And he said he loves working in that arena because the renters tend to be really good, and he said he deals with some problems here and there. People call him for relationship advice. I mean, whatever. I mean, who knows? You just have to take all the calls. But like you said earlier, but no, he said that it was he's exclusive in that. So it's interesting to compare those notes with him, and but he was in a section in New York where I guess it was, he could buy affordably and make a profit on that.
Well, and we tried the Airbnb route.
Right.
And so that didn't work out for us.
Yeah.
It was too much work on the property, too much problems with the property.
Yep.
And not enough income to make up for the extra expenses.
Right.
And so we experimented with that and did it, and then decided not to do it. This particular property is renting for $2,300 a month with a stable renter that's paying for all of the expenses and all of the, utilities and mowing the lawn, all that stuff. And what we found was the extra revenue from the Airbnb didn't cancel out the extra expenses that we had to pay to run the Airbnb. So,
Right.
in the long run, we were losing money. And it's so
Yeah.
much easier to run one with a long-term tenant that's living there that, it makes a lot more sense for us to be long-term renters. But we always say, we'll try it. So there's going to be a Section 8 program in our investing circles that is going to happen.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that works. And if it works out great, maybe we do a dozen of them.
Yeah.
If they don't, then we'll figure out from there.
Yeah.
But we still want to be selective. I had a 1,450 voucher come in for the bank property.
Okay.
And I interviewed the lady with Steve, one of my partners on that property. And what are you doing, Jeff?
I'm sending you a message.
Okay. So I'm still easily distracted as usual.
Mm-hmm.
But we interviewed her online, and she just had a really weird kind of a disposition. We were interviewing her, and she was walking around with her phone, doing this, all the, it was crazy. And I told her, I said, sit down, let's, have a normal conversation. I need you to relax. Just yelling at her kids. And my partner and I both had that deal with her. And we're going to pass. Not because it's a voucher, but because it's just, she didn't have a job. She had a voucher, but she didn't have a job. And I'm like, how are you going to buy food and, that kind of thing? And her answer was she had a savings account and her mom gives her some money. And it just didn't jive for us. And so, making sure that you're matched up with good people is more important.
Yep.
And where did you send me that message that you're talking about?
Facebook.
I didn't see it.
No. Yeah, it's there. Oh, no. Maybe it was on LinkedIn. I'm on the wrong platform.
I am not on LinkedIn right now.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I am. So anyways, a lot of vetting the tenants is necessary.
Yeah.
And we have this one house, and so even though we've got 100 people, I'm waiting for that one good renter.
Yep.
And, knock on wood, I have 13 properties going right now.
Right.
They're all good people, and they're all paying, taking care of the place. So I'm a big advocate of being choosy. And so that means that I'm absolutely dealing with a lot of people in the advertising space to get that one good renter.
Right.
And, the Facebook, you saw how many messages I got on the Facebook thing, right?
I did. Yeah. Which tells me we can be a little choosy too.
Yeah. We always should be. And that's one thing that I've learned is, you know, it's better to not put somebody in when you have a gut feeling of knowing that it's the wrong move.
Right.
And so let me see this. So the Zillow, if we manage the renters, we'll go look at this. You know, here's the houses that we have available right now. This one I rented yesterday. So now we have the 4 properties that we don't own yet. We've got this little house. We've got the bank and the Masonic Lodge, half of which is rented. And then here's your little house that you bought. And so Zillow is similar. We have one applicant, and that's how that works, is they fill out the application with Zillow and gives all the information. And I've communicated with these people. I haven't heard back from them yet.
Right.
I have one application. I have a couple people that are looking at the house this next week. And pretty much it's going to be whoever comes with a deposit and is qualified first gets it. So these are all the inquiries. But if I filter this to just the Pine address, then it'll filter just the people that want to move into the Pine address.
Is there something you had to activate to get this to go to Zillow? And is there do they ask for a commission or a payment or something for
Nope, it's
finding
all
a renter?
free. You can do an ad that's premium or $29. I never do that.
Paid promotion or something.
Yeah, I never do
Yep.
that. And it's
which
kind of
makes
weird.
sense.
It tries to get you to do that.
Yeah, you got to watch where you click. I get
Yeah,
it.
it makes it weird. But
Sneaks it in.
yeah. But I have not had a problem getting tenants.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, you don't need to pay because obviously you're getting people coming in.
Well, Jeff, the thing we haven't dealt with yet is, you know, how do we buy these homes? And
Okay.
frankly, it's got to be purchased correctly.
Yep.
And here's landlord preferences: 2.5 rent, 620 score. But what's our rental conditions? If we buy something for $100,000, what do we rent it for?
1%. You want to make
There you
1%
go.
back? Yep. $1,000.
So what did we buy this little white house for?
40.
40.
Yep. There would be some
That-
extra costs.
That gives us an advantage.
And you're adding the cost of any kind of maintenance or work that needs to be done up front. So your 1%'s based on that too, I'm assuming, right?
We call it 1% of ARC.
What does that
And
stand for?
Average renovated cost.
Okay.
Or you know, actual renovated cost.
Sure.
That includes the purchase price. And this particular house has some HVAC issues. It has a hole in the ceiling. The inside looks pretty good, except for we got to repair a fence. And it may be $5,000 worth of, hoo-ha.
Right.
And, then if we say we're totally in to the place at 40,000 plus 5, so 45,000. We need to rent it for $500 or $450 a month.
Yep.
But in this case, we know in the market that it'll get a little bit more money than that.
Right.
And so we set it up a little bit higher.
Do some comps, look at what is around there. I see that Zestimate was a little bit higher too. Not that means anything, but
it means something.
Yep.
You
kind of
don't
tells you
know.
a story.
Well, it's a pin in the map somewhere.
Yep.
And you don't really know how accurate that is until, something happens with it. But the funny thing that's going on in the market right now is things are renting for higher than what they're worth.
Yep.
Because
That's
they're
true.
artificially being held down in price because of the interest rates.
Right.
So people that are buying a house are not being able to afford as much.
Looks like 7.5%, 30-year fixed with some metrics, but yeah, that's pretty high.
What do I think's going to happen
What do you
with the
think's gonna
housing
happen?
values and the interest rates?
Tell us, Mark.
I think that these higher rates are temporarily dipping down the values in homes.
Okay.
Like my Inglewood houses were up around $450.
Yep. Right.
And if you go look at the Zillow estimate for those houses, they're under 400.
I think I have a couple around my neighborhood that are the same way. They listed them for sale, set a price, didn't get that price, and then had to drop the price.
Absolutely. So here's the houses I'm talking about. Like this house in particular, rents for $2,300 a month. And this even went down. Look at this. But this house 6 months ago was easily $450.
Yeah.
And now it's $368.
Yeah. Wow.
But it's not true. Because if you sell now, you're going to have to give up value. But if you wait and the interest rate goes down to 5, which it will eventually, this house will double in price.
Wow.
Because everyone that's on the sidelines right now is waiting for that to drop, because nobody
That's
can
right.
afford to buy a house right now. And they don't think that they're ever going to be able to buy a house. And when they get a chance and people don't react right away, people are going to actually get in play into the market. The prices are going to go way up, and then it'll stabilize again.
Yep.
Won't be at 2.
Right.
I mean, what's your interest rate, Jeff?
I got 3%.
Yeah. I don't think we'll ever see that again.
Right. Yep.
I got a loan on my house just like because I couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
I just did a cash out refinance, and I ended up being at 2.685
Yeah. Yeah.
because I just couldn't stand it. And
Yeah.
because I didn't think, I thought interest rates would go up to 9, and I was almost right.
Yeah.
But
You were.
my wife let me play around with that low money, even though we're not debt people.
Right.
I think it'll go back down to 4, maybe 4.2, and people are gonna be like, it's the lowest you could get, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
But that at least makes some of these smaller homes reachable.
That's right. Yep.
Because right now, an $800,000 home is crazy.
For sure. Yeah.
You're talking about $6,000 or $7,000 a month.
Right.
I don't know who can afford that.
I mean, I think 8's even. I mean, 7 or 8, that's a big number. I mean, even if you look at a $3,000 or $4,000 house, I mean, take a 5 in Parker. I mean, we're 550, 600 for a kind of ranch style house here. I mean, it's $4,000
Yeah.
a month. I mean, $4,000 a month.
Well, and just think of February,
That's wild.
28 days, and then you got to suck on another one in 28 days.
Yeah.
That's $8,000 in 29 days.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's what a bad place to be. What a bad place to be.
Well, and our job, Jeff, as investors and mentors and people that are helping people do the things that they're doing is, we can come up with things that are bad or identifying the things, but then it's like, okay, what do we do?
Where's the opportunity?
What do we do?
Yep.
And Jeff, you have a good job. Your wife's a hard worker. You got 2 kids. You guys are people that I respect that are doing a great job.
Thank you.
As adult human beings and getting your thing together. You can't afford to buy equity real estate in Denver.
No way.
You understand what I'm saying?
No way.
And you guys are doing pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried to make the math work and it just doesn't. I mean, you buy a $600,000 house and you have to rent it for $6,000 a month.
And you're never going to.
It doesn't work. Yeah. Those people are buying.
A $600,000 house would probably rent for $3,000 in Denver.
Right.
And that's where the numbers don't work.
Yeah, they don't.
But let's talk about your situation, if you don't mind, talking about some specific details about your situation. You and your wife had saved up about $30,000
right
in your prudent reserve, correct?
Correct.
And you're wanting to do some investment with it.
Right.
And there's just it's a no-go in Denver.
Never.
But you guys were able to form a capital company.
Yep.
With me and one of our other equity partners. And you guys so far have invested $17,000 to purchase a third of this little white house.
Yep.
And a couple of things are happening with that. There's no debt in the way we do our houses. So
Correct.
Everybody is owning a certain percentage of the real estate asset.
Correct.
And we'll buy that house for, say, 50 all in.
Yep.
The estimate when we were negotiating on that house was 98.
Yes.
And I would expect after we clean it up and get a renter in there, the true value of that house, if we wanted to flip it, would be 95, 100,000.
Yeah.
So we're going to make 40,000 in equity almost immediately on that house.
Out the gate.
Yes. because we negotiated well, and we have a team of people that are working on properties that we have selected that are helping us do that. And then it's going
Pay
to cash
cash.
flow, $600 a month,
Yeah.
$700 a month, $800 a month, depending.
Yeah.
But, for sure, $600 a month.
Yep.
But maybe a little bit more.
Yep.
So, I like to make a thumbnail conversation about, 50% of the monthly income is good for us as far as profit, and everything else takes care of the taxes, maintenance, insurance, all that stuff.
Right.
But you'll own a third of that money coming in from Jump. So a third of $700 every month belongs to you guys.
Right.
And the magical thing is, the next time we rent that house, it'll probably rent for $900 a month.
Yeah.
So now you own $300 a month coming in.
Right.
And that is the magical thing, because while you're learning how to run the business, that capital company will rise in value. And then maybe we do another house, or actually your original package was that little white house for 40 and some change with closing costs and stuff, and
Right.
some repairs. But we also packaged 3 residential lots with
Empty
service.
lot.
The third one's getting verified, but 2 of them have been verified. And your capital company decided to buy at least 2 of those for $500 a lot.
Right.
So that'll be in that capital company. And one of the things that we want to do with that is to put a slab on it, or a flat spot, where we could have somebody bring in their own mobile home, and then spend $400 a month in pad rental for their little mobile home to be on our individual lot. And we're going to make that individual mobile homes. So there's a whole mobile home community, including 1 mobile home and 1 family. That's it. So that's another thing that you have going on inside of your capital company with Steve and I. So
we do.
And that's the powerful thing that I like to tell people is, you have to be patient at the beginning, because it's hard.
So hard. It hurt.
Well, and a lot of people
moving that money. That's not money that we just found under a rock. I mean,
a lot of people don't understand why we're not using other people's money, why we're not, borrowing, why we're not using leverage. Well, it's hard either way.
Yeah.
And if you get 10 doors leveraged 90%, you can't make any money.
Right.
All you're hoping for is to dodge that bullet for 15 years and wait for some equity growth. Anything bad happens in between, and you're done.
Yep.
But Jeff, what happens if the market drops in half? What are we going to do?
Well, we still own the asset. I mean, we own the asset. It's paid with cash. So, I mean,
we dropped the rent. We're still
going to
in half. Okay.
Right.
So we rent our property for $350 a month.
Right.
And that pays for the taxes and the insurance and everything else. Everyone else around us loses their properties.
That's true.
Because they're renting it for $795, and their note is $550, say.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to get their lawn mowed for sure.
And if you did that on 10 doors, you're losing everything. Now who's wise?
That's right.
Yeah,
it's great advice and good knowledge, and I think along the way
it's so hard, hard to try and do it.
It is.
you know. And in a sense, Jeff, I mean, you guys are you Gen X, you're millennials, right?
I don't know what I am.
Yeah, I think you're a millennial.
I'm something like that.
I think you're a millennial.
Millennials were born between 1981 and 1996. So I am a millennial.
Yes, you are. And so there are not a lot of millennials out there, Jeff, that have $30,000 in the bank.
Yeah.
So you guys are an exception to the rule. However, the one caveat to no loans is if we had 4 people going together on the next house and you have to get a little equity loan from your parents or against your house or something like that, and then you deal with that in private and we don't have the investment property indebted at all, we can't lose that, but the individuals need to borrow to get themselves going, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know,
the
Luann and I used
personal
to borrow
leverage.
against our house,
Right.
and then we'd buy an income producing asset in cash and then pay back that loan against the house, buy it down, and then re-leverage it. That happens, you know.
You bet.
But there's got to be a place where we start, and that's the capital companies. And especially we're talking about your involvement and your wife's involvement. We have to be in a market that we could take advantage and where the houses are going to double, which I predict this house in 5 years will be worth $110,000. And what that means is the $50,000 that we paid for this house is going to double.
Sure.
And I still believe that.
Well, you got a little asterisk on this one because it already thinks that it's worth 90.
Well, that gives us an advantage, and it gives us proof that buying the assets is the most important thing. You know, buying them correctly. I'll show this property because it's the first property that I bought in Norman. And you remember me buying this one when I was still your boss.
I do remember the Norman.
I'm gonna go buy a house in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And everybody said, "Why the hell are you doing that for?"
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, you're an idiot." Okay. So this house right here, okay. September 2019, I paid $138,000 for that house. It rents right now for $1,450. It's been rented the whole time. And now they're saying the thing is worth 201.
Nice.
Or 191. If you talk to a realtor that sells in this area, they would say 210, 215.
Wow. Beautiful place.
That's a
Love
depressed, that's a depressed price because of the interest rates.
Yep.
So 2019, I've had it for 3 years ish. Late 2019 to 2024.
Right.
4 years. It's been rented the whole time, and I got another year and a half to hit 270. And that'll be a double in 5 years.
Wow.
And I think that's going to happen.
Yeah. No, it's really good.
So the things that we're looking at buying what we really want to see happen, the reason that we're here in Oklahoma and the reason that we're investing the way we are is you kids, meaning you and your wife, have joined forces with the rest of us guys that are doing the taking care of each other investment kind of a thing and leaving the bank out of it. We want to double.
Yeah.
You may double.
Right.
Because there's a universe where in 5 years or less, you double to 100 with this house.
Yeah.
But you might double to 200 depending on what happens.
Right.
And that's pretty exciting. But even if it doesn't do all that, if we have our metrics and our numbers together, the renters are taking care of all the expenses and kicking us back a nice chunk of money as we go along. And the extra bonus is the appreciation.
Yeah, you have the asset.
Well, and it's like the place on Girton. I paid $118,000 for that house.
Right.
And it rents for $2,300 a month right now.
Yep.
Now I put some money in,
or 113 and a dirt road in front of it when you bought it.
Yeah, I put some money in renovating it along the way.
Yep.
But it has rented successfully for 10 years. And when the rates drop, I'll be able to sell for $500.
Yeah.
$500,000.
It's huge. Huge.
So learning how to do all this stuff, Jeff, the thing that I'm walking through with you, because you're the first generation investor, what I call a baby investor.
Yeah.
And not because you kids are young. You're sharp as a tack about business. You've helped yourself, both of you guys. You're baby investors because you're just getting involved in learning the ins and outs and figuring out what you want to do. My goal is for you guys when you're 50 to have some combination of fractional ownership or individual ownership to where you've got 5 or 6 doors when you're 50.
Yeah.
And you've got passive money coming in of, $6,000-7,000.
Yeah.
Then you add that with your 401k money. You add that with your upcoming Social Security money that might be coming. That gives you guys a good, solid footing on taking care of yourselves in the future.
Yeah.
Financial freedom, financial independence, whatever you want to call it. But one of the things that I have to tell people is learn how to manage your properties yourself. And remotely managing them is a thing as well, Jeff.
Yeah.
And you will learn how to do that with this little Oklahoma house. And it's imperative because if you just have a property manager, they're incompetent, most of them.
Yeah.
And they just write off on whatever repairs or whatever thing you need to do. And I tested one like the Airbnb thing. Mike and I owned a house and he was having some health problems and I was having some health problems, and said, okay, let's hire a property manager for the Drumright house 2 hours away.
Yeah.
This guy had no clue. He bungled the thing so much I had to take it back over again.
Oh my gosh.
It was unbelievable. And
that's not good.
They want to charge you half a month's rent to rent it. And in this video you and I are working on in a little bit over an hour, we talked about how to market it, how to vet the people. And he wants to charge me $600-700 for that.
Yeah.
When I'm renting the place for $900. And then and then, if it needs repairs, he's charging a premium for all the repairs, and he's not price shopping. he has his brother-in-law go in there and fix it, and he gets a kickback.
Yeah.
You know, so it was
Yeah.
like, oh my God. And these
Yeah, not
people
good.
that get property managers, these property managers are not taking care of your properties like you would.
Yep. It's true.
And it's sad.
It is sad, and it is true.
But with a little bit of effort, and the most prevalent thing that I hear from our renters after they graduate is, we love you. And we say back to them, we love you too. Let us know what the mortgage company needs, or your reference, or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
We love to see people graduate and move on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
And no hard feelings. Everything's good. And if you treat people with respect and they feel like you're a good guy,
yeah,
it's
you
returned.
get that back. Yep. That's right.
But Jeff, I cannot wait to document our journey.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll be able to come down, take a couple of days, and go through your property. I don't think this white one is going to last.
Right.
I think we're going to get it rented before you're able to come down.
Yeah, I agree.
But we'll do a show and we'll share with people what we had to do, how much it cost us to get the house shaped up, who moved into it, and what's going on with that. And then we'll start keeping our eye on building up cash in that capital company and moving on to the next one. And we'll give people a chance to see what we do with our vacant lots. And, honestly, the Mason Lodge that we bought with our partner Steve and Greg in a different transaction.
Yep.
Hopefully that might be something for you and Ashley.
Right.
On the next one.
Yeah.
We find a 4,000 square foot building for $40,000.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
There we go. Right.
Yeah. You bet. Yeah.
But Jeff, I want to say here at the end that we went over a little bit more than we should have, but I love you guys. And I am so happy to be participating in your life since you were 16 years old, working at the computer company, and watching you guys be super responsible with what you're doing, and having a small part of, helping you guys become millionaires and financially secure, because you guys deserve it. You're hardworking people. And, a lot of times that millionaire status doesn't happen simply because no one reached in to educate.
It's so true. Yeah.
Well, and it's especially true for you, Jeff, because you worked with me for so long, and we coached these young kids, and we gave them skills, and we mentored them, and kicked their butts a little bit, and repeated our sayings to them and all this other stuff. And now you're the executive. You got a whole nother group of people that you're mentoring. I've left town.
Yep.
But you're helping these young kids be successful. And I'm trying to continue to take you to the next level. And you're trying to take them to the next level.
Yeah.
And I hope that in 10 years or 15 years, even if I'm not here to see it, I want to look down on you and say, Jeff's getting those young kids to buy their own property. Jeff's getting them to be entrepreneurial. And that's what I love to see. I love to see it, because I grew up poor. Jeff, you grew up poor. And if we can show some of these kids that, hey, you can make it. We made it. And just don't be afraid to try,
Yep.
And I'm sure that there's a lot of people that are looking at you saying that you're an idiot.
Yep.
You're buying a rental house in Oklahoma, and that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of, and blah, blah, blah. Every single time I made $1 million, people told me how big of an idiot I was.
Yep.
Every single time. You're going to sell used computers? You're an idiot. Made $1 million.
Yep. You hit it dead on.
A year.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So you are following in the footsteps, doing things that are obviously stupid. And
Yes, they are.
I hope that in 5 to 10 years, you come over here to Belmar and buy a mansion on the golf course, and you're my
Yeah.
neighbor.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, thank you for that. And my follow up to that is, anybody can do it. I think if we you really set yourself to it, set your mind on it, and follow the things that you and I are doing.
And make a mistake.
Yeah.
Make a mistake and learn from it.
I won't say that I didn't get some inspiration from our friend Dave Ramsey and some of his principles that he has. I think he's somebody that we have kind of modeled some of our things after and changed a little bit of them. But even before we bought this property together, I was reading some articles that he wrote about buying properties, and I mean, you wouldn't believe how many things were mirrored what we are doing.
That's
Don't get a
great.
loan, pay with cash, a lot of similarities. So, the fact that I followed his baby steps, saved up a little, fund, paid off my
Absolutely.
debt.
Absolutely.
That helped me personally. And then,
But
mix in
there
what you and
again,
I are doing, and
it's
off we go.
okay to go buy a new truck. And
Sure.
Dave Ramsey said you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't
Ever.
get a loan on the truck.
Yeah.
And, I watched you break those rules, and I
Right.
was okay with it, because at a
Yeah.
certain point, it's like, hey, the kid's working his tail off. He deserves to have a nice pickup truck. Let him
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah, if it's up to him, I'll drive around a Saturn with a bad transmission that doesn't go in first gear, and
Which
I
is
paid
okay.
$400 cash.
It's okay if you got credit card bills that you need to pay off and student loans, all the other stuff, and you don't live in a house and you don't blah, 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 all the stuff.
Yeah.
But, I give you permission, and you should give yourself permission to break the rules a little bit, because damn it, I've been a good guy. I took care of my family. My kids have a nice place to live. And if I want to get a loan on a pickup truck, there's got to be
Yep.
something that, you get.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I think it's completely acceptable. But, it pinches, and you guys are finding it pinch. But I think when you and your wife climb this mountain and you look back and say, holy crap, we have a third of a paid off house.
Yeah.
We don't even have a third of a paid off house in the house we live in, but this other house, it's paid off.
That's true.
And that's pretty exciting as a family to do that together. So I have a feeling that we're going to pile some money together on our vacant lots, and then you and Ashley are going to be saying, hey, what's the next thing we're doing next time?
That's right.
We got 10,000 freed up, Well, we lost Jeff. Jeff, I don't know if we lost you, but I'm going to go ahead and end the